Rob Zeida here, Freedom Cardboard at the FCB National in Atlanta. Sitting here with Todd Cunningham. I want to say the Fountain of Commodores, but now in the Atlanta Braves organization. How you doing today, Todd?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. You know, it's real nice for me, you know, to be able to deal with some of the guys that we dealt with back home. So we're out here, and Todd's been sitting down at the Freedom Cardboard booth signing autographs. We're going to have Hunter Morrison in a little bit as well. And what are you thinking of the whole experience here for you so far?
No, I mean, it's wild. Like, all these people coming just for me to write my name. I mean, it's definitely cool. It's kind of surreal, especially when you're put on the stage like Hayward and some of the other guys coming in. You know, it's pretty cool. So I mean, just trying to enjoy the experience while I can.
Now you're still new. Got drafted last year, second round with the Braves. This is your first experience really with anything like this, right?
Yeah, especially with this caliber, like on this scale. And it's pretty sweet.
Now, when you were a kid, what was your collecting experience for, cards, anything athlete-wise?
Well, my uncle was big into it. He lives up near Baltimore, so, he had Cal Ripken with the Orioles and now Ray Lewis with the Ravens, so I kind of had that influence, but as far as getting crazy with it, I did the baseball cards, I'd lay them out in the book and everything like that, so I have a couple albums, but nothing too crazy, but, he was definitely into it and had tons of signatures down in his basement, so, it's kind of a familiar thing.
Now, while we were sitting in the booth, a lot of the questions that you were getting were kind of, you hit over and over, so I'm going to hit you with those again.
Okay.
A couple weeks, you're going down to spring training. What is your outlook and hopes for this year with the Braves?
Just keep learning and growing as a player. I mean, you make a huge change. Make a huge change going from college to all of a sudden the pros. So the atmosphere changes, and this will be the first full season. So it's going to be a new setting and a new environment, hopefully a new level of play. So it's just to keep growing and keep developing as a player.
Now with growing and playing, you've been off for a few months now. What are you using for your off-season regimen lately?
I got all kinds of stuff going on. Kind of have a cross-training approach, a little bit of swimming, a little bit of cycling. Don't tell anyone, but I've been doing some hip hop, so we don't want the word to get out too much there. Teaching myself in the garage off of YouTube, which is an amazing tool. Trying to take advantage of that. So just all kinds of random stuff, just to have fun and kind of rejuvenate yourself.
I think that gives me the lead. Speaking of hip hop and YouTube, when you played for Falmouth, we used a certain song as walk-up music.
I remember it.
And strangely enough, it was featured on Talking Chop, and I got a text message from you, or I think a Facebook message from you right away, like, are you responsible for that? Anything you want to comment with that?
Maybe one day there'll be a sequel, who knows? Just keep your eyes open.
And if anyone doesn't understand, the Do the White Boy video was played for Todd on Cape Cod, which also led to a nickname that was featured on your card from Panini this year. How did you feel about the Cape Todd nickname?
I mean, there's not much you can do about it. People are going to call you what they want to call you, so I guess as long as you get used to it, life goes on. Yeah.
So, anything here that you saw today that stood out to you, or was it just the whole experience in general?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to be on this scale, kind of like what we talked about before. It's just kind of a blessing to kind of all of a sudden find yourself in this position. It's kind of humbling. It's kind of awe-inspiring. It's almost surreal. So it's definitely neat.
One thing I want to make sure to get across to people is when I worked with Todd, we came into the Cape League really the same year, and the first big event we were talking about earlier, I didn't know anyone yet. I was awkward, and there was one player there that looked like I felt, and it was Todd. And I went home that night, said to my then fiance, now my wife, I was like, I only really talked to one kid the whole thing. Man, he was such a nice kid, and I really hope that he can, hope he makes the team, because I didn't know if he was a 10th player or what at that point. I'm like, I hope he does well. And then win the Prospect of the Year award, got the Cape Todd nickname, and 2 games left in the season, you were hitting 400. So, gotta give you credit that you were great to deal with us. A couple things we have here. that we'll be featuring on Freedom Cardboard is Todd. We're going to have some of his game use stuff. Some of his hats from when he played the minors, batting gloves, we got a bat, and his Cape League jersey. So I'm going to have those up on the site. Todd signs them. Obviously, you don't have to worry about authentication with this stuff, folks. And
yeah, the sweat's still on the hat, so I promise it's real.
So I just want to thank you for coming out, Todd. And anything you want to add in closing?
No, I mean I just enjoy all the support. It's awesome that people actually care. So it's awesome and it's an honor. So I appreciate it.
And I appreciate you this because I know Todd. We're interviewing him here. It's kind of focused on him, but he's one of the most humble kids I've dealt with. I had the players write out different things when we were making their baseball cards. Different accomplishment, and Todd's response to it was, I don't really like to talk about that. So when other players were writing books, Todd's like, I don't really like to talk about that stuff. So gotta thank you for coming out, Todd.
I appreciate it.
And thanks to everyone at FCB following us on YouTube.